Yeah. I'm solo casting from now on. Evan, you're joining Dallas and Topical here. It's TriCast, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, why not?
Hey, you know what else is super impressive for me, actually, was the Fallen scoreline. We noted it at halftime, and I want to shout out our stats guy who had written down, I believe, 29 and 17. But since Fallen pulled off a 1v3 clutch, he ends up with a 30 and 16. So if he had lost that clutch, our stats guy would have been right on the money. Right on the money at halftime. Shout out.
MIBR starting this round off Dallas towards Ivy, just creating a little bit of presence. It does look like they're getting ready to split down Ivy very quickly here. Contact being made as Som getting gooshed. Android as well. Both these players very low, and both these players are down, opening up that outside bomb site.
JDM going to try and battle with Taco here, but across Old Bomb Train was, I believe, Phelps there. He was able to support. Phelps ends up falling, but it's a very uphill battle for Nifty and Fugly. They've got the kit, and now they do not, as a matter of fact. So very, very clean. And Fallen's interview right there, he was talking about the pistol rounds, how they weren't able to win the first, I believe, pistol round. It was that Envy were hitting all their shots, and MIBR, they didn't hit their shots. That's what it came down to. And we see the exact opposite of that. MIBR had a very clean pistol.
And looking at this side right now that MIB are starting on the T side, they're a lot more comfortable on train, so I assume starting on T that wasn't an issue for them. Envy being a newer team, however, this is where the issue arises. Are they going to be, well versed in train enough to actually compete against MIBR? This is a map that MIBR has played time and time again, so they know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, MIBR played train against Luminosity yesterday, so yes.
But that was...
Yeah, they're at least they're rehearsed on it. They got a warm-up out of the way, right?
Yeah.
So right now, Envy having two defenders down here. That's going to be JDM as well as Som, and soon to join in is Fugly as well. He's the one with the scout, but all three of those fall instantaneously before they can even get some shots downrange or effective shots downrange. Nifty and Android last men standing, and with what they have, Android might want to hold on to this for the next round if he has the option to. It does look like Fallen will go down in Z connector, gifting over UMP. So now you've got even something better to save, but look, Android's got nowhere to go. He smoked off his rear flank. He'll put in a fresh magazine to try and go against toe-to-toe, a full flank here as well, because behind him is Fur that's at the old bomb, and that is a cleanup, so he wasn't able to escape safely.
No, MIBR with a very nice round out there, keeping all 5 members alive, I do believe, in that situation. No, they did lose 1, but keeping 4, that's going to boost their economy. We should be moving into another eco round for Envy. I don't imagine they're going to force buy up just because of their dollar value being so low here. As JDM and Nifty, they want to get those ops in their hands as soon as they can, and you know what, it's a map like Train. I don't blame them for wanting to do that. These AWPs, if they do get them into next round, are very powerful weapons that'll help them take those long-distance engagements without contention.
Ladder presence gets swapped out. Taco's able to pick up 2 and an assist for the third. Yeah, instantaneous. It looks like all those bodies were racked up in there in the bottom of the ladder.
That round only took 16 seconds.
That's right. It's a great stat at the end of the round sometimes. No, but that was bottom of ladder was a very shallow grave for Envy for the most part right there. But MIBR will be able to push that to the side. Instant double op in this next round for Envy. Absolutely instantaneously, straight into the thick of things.
I can imagine with one of these ops, they're going to be looking to get aggressive. Maybe Nifty towards Ivy, maybe JDM pushing up that middle area. We are starting off with seeing MIBR move very quickly towards that box halls, and it does look like no op will be getting aggressive. So Nifty will be positioned towards Ivy here. JDM bringing that AWP towards Inner to support his teammate on top of Pop Dog, which is Fugly. And MIBR, they're just taking that box halls control ever so slowly.
Som's now on top of the train closest to T-Con. Android's right there too. So now Envy, without having all this presence towards T-Con from MIBR, they've actually taken that territory, peeked in there, seen that nothing is there. I think a great grenade just got aired out by Fugly, both tagging Fallen and Fur quite heavily. Fallen below 50 and Fur right at about the 60 mark.
Yeah, it's a great nade from Fugly, a good amount of damage being done. As we pass the minute mark on the clock, it does look like MIBR most likely will be doing a little bit of an outside fake first to clear ladder, and then maybe draw over some rotations. You do see Phelps lurking it out, but I imagine the end round is going to be focused on Inner.
Okay, so ladder has been purified by the flames. MIBR can be confident about that, and if they were to execute towards this B site now, they know that the flank would take some time to get to that position. Solo defender up close, and really the one from the back line is the one that falls first because Fallen can reach out and touch you with that AWP. Fugly is up next. Backside of the bomb train now wrapping around to the outside. The bomb hasn't quite made it to the site yet, but Taco makes sure that it can safely.
Look at Phelps.
3v4, now 2v4 right now with Taco hanging on by a thread. Phelps on the rear flank says you are not allowed to save this. The save call was made instantaneously right as Android died. He turned around to run off and ended up recognizing that there's an AK in his face. So now Nifty is a bit short on time. He's got a hot pursuit right behind him. Can he turn the corner? He does. But I believe Phelps did manage to spot him there. So you're going to get a cutoff at the pass. Taco at 1 HP is going to be out in front of Nifty.
Yeah, Taco should be able to pick this frag up momentarily. Firing off at Nifty here, drawing the attention. Phelps comes around. Nifty in a great spot, and he's able to take down Taco, give himself a little bit more lifetime.
Keep running, dude.
And he's going to have to keep on moving here because those players moving from Ivy are coming in behind him.
Yeah, next up is Coldzera. He goes down as well. Great defense of this AWP right now as Nifty was met at every corner being intercepted, but able to at least push over top of him.
So Envy there in that round, you see that good nade damage from Fugly. Actually, good nade usage as all over the board as he drops that Molotov as they're executing out lower. But MIBR really just drawing out those rotations towards the outer area as the clock's winding down. They go to clear ladder. They make it seem like it's going to be an outside hit, but then just explode onto inner, actually Molotoving off Z, keeping those rotations from coming out. And then it just becomes Fugly in the site by himself, having to make it happen.
Very, very fast push right now as Fur, I believe, made his way just outside of T-Con. He'll park right here and staying here. I don't think he's actually even been noticed that he was able to get out so quickly. So he's going to be the man behind the lines. Now towards Sandwich, wrapping around. He's heard Fugly pop off a couple shots.
Nifty doesn't see this
they
player.
have no idea, as a matter of fact, because Android is ahead of this. He's actually at T-Con. So Fur has everybody lined up. He spots two players, and the second one as well. He didn't want to pull the trigger, I think, against Android because he wanted to be able to get in a position to take Fugly. Surprise, surprise. And you have a cleanup crew for Fur right now. Android's still out there somewhere, but he's just now been picked up by Taco. So JDM is last man up, AWP in hand. This was over towards the B site, and it's a shame because this was a force buy behind that AWP saved, and Envy weren't able to get much done so far unless JDM can manage a 1v3. There's a smoke that comes around the corner, and I believe Fur did not detect that JDM was here initially. Now he's going to hear him stomping around, and you might have another foot pursuit.
Oh, what a shot by Further. That jumping Glock to take down JDM at the end of the round. MIBR, a very clean round from them, and really, you got to commend Fur for sneaking out. Really not even used in that situation. Yeah. He gets out towards Hell, comes back around the bomb, doesn't really even need to fire off as the majority of the MIBR players are clearing that outside bomb site by themselves. Here's the one kill he did get, just taking down that bomb train and onto the second one as well. It was a good round out of Fur, but really, he didn't even need to strike. Most of those players were already low. Most of those players were already being taken damage by those other MIBR players towards middle.
His information was just as valuable as anything.
Exactly.
He was just calling them out. He wasn't shooting at them. He saw 4 players at any given time. Nifty trying to do a little team damage to Fugly right there as a shot in the backside of him. They weren't able to communicate that apparently they were going to both peek out that upper box hall's portion. So all this damage has been dealt either through grenades or through a little bit of team damage to start off for Envy, already on a awful start. MIBR so fast out of the gates, have 5 rounds. That's usually what you want to end up with, 5 or 6.
Yes.
They've already got to that point, batting 1,000.
And that's just a testament to the experience that MIBR have on this map. Envy is a newer lineup, a newer team, so they haven't got as much practice on a map like Train. And remember, when you're going up against a side like MIBR, this is something that in every BO3, you can probably expect MIBR to throw this in there. If not this, then Overpass.
I'm really surprised, actually, that we have a double AWP setup for MIBR. This is peculiar to me. Coldzera has one of these as well. Fallen, of course, he has his. Coldzera's at the top of the ladder right now looking to the box halls. Fallen is setting up for some smokes for the outer yard.
Coldzera now lining up his smokes as well. It does look like MIBR as we pass the 35-second mark looking for an outside hit. Will they be able to get it here?
Molly's into camera. Psalm is at Sandwich right now, but he's on the ladder trying to surprise Fur, but Fur catches him from heaven, though. Android starts popping off. 2 kills for him. Great headshot against the second one of Fur. Now things are getting delayed with 20 seconds on the clock. Taco's coming up. Surprising Android, able to settle his feet on top of the ladder quickly so. Now dropping down. Nifty's at cameras.
Ooh.
Taco now looking like he's in his old self again as well. Man advantage for MIBR due to that, but JDM will draw it back even.
That's big.
It's op versus op versus op versus op. What a retake.
Everybody's got that one shot to make the dream happen, and it's going to be Fallen moving around the right side of Bomb Train into Z. This is great positioning from him. I don't actually think Fugly was able to spot this one out, so Fugly now will move right by Fallen, and Fallen picking up a very easy kill, leaving it all onto JDM now. No kit. He's got himself pinched, and coldzera's got himself a frag. MIBR onto 6 off a lovely outside hit, splitting through that middle as well as that ladder.
Running away with it at this point. I mean, you're going to have to take a timeout soon, I think. Envy's next rifle round, I believe, will involve a timeout as well. Taco getting those 2 kills, as we see, was really the saving grace at this one. Nifty being at the camera position was going to be very strong because you had a post-plant holder that was over towards Old Hell.
Yep.
And it was just funny that it ended up being a double op for both teams. But it's still interesting that MIBR is utilizing double op for T side. That is atypical.
Yeah, it's definitely not something that you see too often, but of course now coldzera picking up 2 frags, doesn't even need any of those ops to start off the round. Taco might go down here as JDM has aggressed himself all the way up into this front T connector smoke. However, it doesn't look like he'll be pushing too much further on. He might find Taco.
Still might do it. He's
Taco
backed up
heard
to
this, and Taco should be able to pick
wrong
this
way.
up.
Taco casual knife. Give him the little poke.
Get him. Da-da.
It's a race now. It's a foot race. Got him. Yeah. Jaws theme music starts up. Taco ends up making a little bit of extra cash on that round as well. And a gift again, and so it's only getting more and more out of control. That really solidifies so much more cash on MIBR's side, because if we look at it, of course 2 ops were saved in that last round. Prior to that it was 3, and prior to that was 2. So it has been getting expensive for MIBR, and then they'll take that knife all day.
Yeah, any type of cash you can get on, especially on a map like Train, where you're going to need the full utility spectrum if you actually want to be able to have success chance in the round. Of course, MIBR moving on to their 7th right now. They've got plenty of cash in their pockets, but you know what? Get a knife kill, add even more to that.
And keep all 5 alive. So
massive.
Suddenly, you've got Fallen and Taco who are holding on to ops right now. It's interesting too, because coldzera was at one point the secondary opper in a couple rounds ago. Those 2 players, Fallen and Taco, 12,000 and 11,000 each, and then Phelps is then behind that at 7,000. So they have a lot of cushion beneath them in case they do fall. It'll be a soft fall.
MV now taking their first time out of this first half, just trying to figure out how they can put an end to this MIBR streak. And honestly, I'd like to see some aggression from MV, maybe towards Ivy early on, get somebody pushed up with that one of those AWPs to get an early pick, or even pushing up inner box halls, because MIBR are on their default. They're moving very quickly to start the round towards inner. They're throwing the Molotov towards upper. So you do have an opportunity, if you push up the lower ramp, to maybe catch one of those MIBR players who are jumping off of that upper railing.
Yeah, well, I've seen previous rounds where MIBR will post up the op and look for the aggression for the upper box hall side. This time, you're right, they're just running straight through it right now. They do not catch Fugly.
Here's Nifty.
He drops grenades. He heard this, and it sounded like a rush to Fugly, so he dumps a lot of utility, just liberally applying it to ramp. That was a grenade, a flash, and a molly. He has run off and has, in fact, pulled Psalm over to assist. So right now, Envy are fighting a ghost. There's a lot of utility now coming up over the top. It might be a fake hit right now because nobody from MIBR are actually in a position to strike until they throw a second volley of smokes, I think.
Yeah, they should be coming out momentarily. They did just want to bring any utility out from the CTs. Now we do see the Molotovs coming out, the execute coming in, the rotations from Envy are on their way.
That's a great smoke from Fugly as well. He banks it off the wall above Spool, is able to pick up 1 kill for himself, make it a second, unable to convert the third. It was Fur left alone, and Envy are finally able to tally 1 on the board, and great thing so, because it was a double op again. They go into that expensive habit, but only lose 1 player, that being Fugly, who got kills on the round and was useful.
Yeah, and during that round, we saw Envy, we were concentrating on the inner bomb site there, Dallas, but actually Nifty towards the Ivy, who had aggressed, actually got a lot of information, realizing that none of these MIBR players are there, communicating to his team, hey, they're either mid-ladder or they're about to execute on inner, and I could imagine seeing Nifty do that once again, because it was successful, and he's exactly going to do that, moving towards Ivy to start this round off now, getting that information for his side.
Wow. Again, they just rushed those upper box halls. This time, though, there was a Molotov from the T side to make sure that no Ivy aggression was met. And actually, Nifty steps in that for a shade.
Cold Zero's out
damage.
upper.
Yeah, Cold Zero doing Cold Zero things.
Ooh,
does
nice
end
shot.
up dying, so that is an okay trade right now for Envy. But JDM unscopes at probably the absolute worst time. If he had just given it 2 more seconds after Cold Zero had been spotted towards that B site, he would have ended up with a kill before he was traded. One-man advantage, and looking even more so for MIBR as Nifty and Android are thinking about a save. There's a flick shot from Fallen. It's a bit off the mark, so still they stand, but there's a flank coming. There's a flank.
Yeah.
Phelps is already behind him, and again, Android is met with the exact same fate. Okay, guys, let's save. Android turns around. He just needs, if the save call's there, Android just needs to flick 180 degrees and start shooting.
Yeah, exactly.
Just start shooting.
The second you start thinking about saving, just realize that Phelps is probably behind you while you're trying to save. And here's that double jump that Fallen as well as his teammate did that catches off JDM and really secures that inner bomb site for themselves, because JDM was in a great spot to at least pick off one more. But unfortunately, unscoping, like you mentioned, is going to get him caught. Envy, they've got their first on the board, but it was quickly taken away as MIBR find themselves one more.
Yeah, and Envy are going to try and cobble something together here. They've got, again, double op. It hasn't worked out for them very well so far, and Fur just casually rolls out of T-Con and rolls over Android, so being one of the last kills is now the first casualty of war. Nifty pushed aggressive top box hauls, and Fugly's doing the same thing in tow. So Envy are trying to play catch-up right now. They're trying to get aggressive on one side and hope for the best, though this is a gamble, and if you end up losing the second player here, the round virtually ends at that point. It'd be almost a miracle to come back 3v5.
Yeah, it was a very bold decision for Envy there to force up. Now, looking at their utility, not much whatsoever. Fugly now being taken down. He's really the only person that had utility in the round, and that's going to open up inner just slightly enough that we'll see MIBR rotate that bomb out of the middle area and towards that box halls.
Yeah, JDM's staring towards Cold Zera, and Cold ends up peeking it again. The
Nifty might get taken down as well.
Perfect timing against JDM. He just ends up getting walked over. Psalm turns back for Phelps here, but it was an instant save call, and the bomb's miles off. They're just trying to get back and around into a position that they assume is going to be safe at this point. But MIBR have so much money to expend, they're hunting before the bomb is planted.
Yeah, not letting Envy get into a really strong save position here, trying to catch them off while they're going for those exits. We already saw Nifty fall towards Ivy. The final 2 members in Psalm as well as JDM trying to keep those ops in their hands. JDM doesn't have armor either, so if he does get tagged with that first bullet, it could be very scary as Cold does take down Psalm. 1 AWP is removed from the field.
Yeah, and JDM recognized that there are players back towards T-spawn, so his safest course of action is to push forwards again. But it does appear that Cold Zera is on this side of the map. This is the longest hunt I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, JDM missing that shot. Now the aim punch takes hold. JDM down to 52 HP. He is going to miss yet another shot, and it's going to be Cold Zera finding his second of the round as MIBR move on to 9 rounds on their T side, Dallas. Complete domination on the second map.
That hunt lasted a full minute. Like, you try holding on as a CT side, being in virtually a one-man position. You had one up on top of the dumpsters towards T-spawn, one over towards Ivy, so they're disconnected from one another, but working on such a narrow area that without one
pretty
falling,
much straight angles.
Yeah, I mean, but when one of those falls, suddenly it's a big problem. But how can you withstand that storm 2v5 or 2v4, whatever it was? That was a long hold on for them. They just couldn't pull it off. Envy continue to dip down into the cache, though. They're buying again. They do have a lot of bonus, so they'll have rifles in the next, but they need to do something now.
Phelps with a nice shot onto JDM as Fur taking down Fugly, moving ever so quickly to this outside bomb site is the MIBR side.
Yeah, Taco passes Nifty. Nifty's still in that smoke. He's actually not on that ladder right now, so they're shoulder to shoulder. Now Taco sees him go by, but he whiffs almost everything. Then the second push through from Nifty comes in, and he dies. Android last man up. He is passing the showers right now and into the cafeteria, the kitchen, and he'll die soon too. But what a T-half for MIBR. Goodness gracious.
You think they got HBO on those TVs?
Oh, up here where
Yeah.
Android is? No, only that radio plays. I've already tried.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, the radio only plays. Actually, it plays something else on Nuke. I know it plays that Italian radio
That's on Inferno.
On Inferno,
Yeah,
right? I don't.
yeah.
I think it plays something else on Nuke.
When I was a kid, I used to opera sing that song, the one on Inferno. Italy had a song too.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, Italy had a song as well. Nonetheless, MIBR onto their 10th round. Envy with another timeout. Their money looking a lot better than it did in their previous force buy. But can they make it happen here? MIBR really with all the momentum in this first half. Envy need to stop this. Or really, this is going to be a blowout second map.
Yeah, look at that Taco right now. I mean, previously in the last map, we talked to Cold Zera, we talked to Fallen, we talked really about everybody except Taco, and he has got 109 ADR, 12 and 5 right now. So Taco really propelling MIBR to already a really, really good T-half. I mean, it was a good T-half at round 5. It was 5-0 at that point. And I said, okay, anything after this point is icing on the cake. Now they got the sprinkles, and they've got a really, I mean, at this point, I think they've got the cherry. What more can you have? They're gonna take the whole diner here in a minute.
They're just gonna buy the place at this point. MIBR 10 rounds on the board. Envy here trying to get at least their second as we move towards the end of this first half, or this latter part of the first half. Envy getting completely decimated. MIBR really having no trouble whatsoever on any portion of the map.
Flying Fallen. Woo! Zips right into the center view of Nifty. I think it caught Nifty off guard. Crosshair didn't even move. Blinked or scratched or whatever. Well, regardless, that was beautiful.
That jump cross, the scope in, you just can't see it whatsoever. So that gives Fallen the advantage in that situation, able to pick up a very nice frag, like you mentioned, onto Nifty here. Turn it into a 5v4. And it does look like MIBR running this double op setup once more. We'll be looking towards this outside split as we pass the minute mark on the round.
And they're nervous. Envy is. I think they even took a little pop shot at one another, missed, but they're very sketchy about where MIBR could be. Fugly pushed up to the top of the ramp, overwhelmed. Now Android starts to rebound out, and Fallen's interview, they talked about this. They'd get one kill and then they would snap onto a site, but they don't necessarily have to do this right now. Look how scattered MIBR right now, and Envy might anticipate that they're going to go for that snap pick and push.
Cold Zera creeping out and out. He's about to get pop flash through the smoke. Is Som going to catch it? Som does catch it. That's going to let Cold move through it now and have the advantage in this situation. Android in the site, able to take down Taco, but Cold has crept right up to Z. He should be able to take down Som here momentarily. And it's actually Fallen to take him down, leaving only Android with that AWP. He gets contacted by Taco. He will be the victor in that battle.
I mean, I don't think MIBR anticipated that this would be a fake strategy. They just split push. We saw this as well on the last map. They would do a split push, and they'd find success everywhere.
Really opening it up from that Ivy area to begin with. And I actually saw it from Nifty's perspective. Nifty wasn't double scoped, so he was single scoped. He saw Fallen fly across.
I saw that,
Yeah, and still not able to pick that one up.
Well, I mean, MIBR pushed into this in the inner yard, and they had successfully won those kills, and Envy rotated. They started to come through Z. They were thinking about flanking, thinking that it was going to be a B hit, when in fact, that opened up everything for Ivy. You started a T-Con player starting to filter into this A site. There's that shot from Fallen, just painting the wall from Nifty.
And once that Ivy area goes down, that's such a pillar in the outside hold that everybody's got to start watching. You can't have any more double up setups. You got to have one person watching the Ivy, one person picking up ladder, one person watching the T mid, and that throws Envy's setup just into a complete disarray. They start tumbling from that point, and that's when MIBR actually move in towards inner and find themselves a lot more ground as well.
Wow. Nifty just committed 50 HP just so he could get a deeper smoke outside of Ivy.
Look how much control he got now.
Yeah, well, 3 players from MIBR backed off of that, thinking that there was going to be a nightmare of a push from the CT side. Now they push back towards T-Con. Som gets himself a good kill, and he's flirting with death right now. Fallen takes the high ground. What a nade. Bounces up over, almost finishing the job. But Android now takes the baton. Fallen has to worry about being so scoped in. 2 targets present themselves, and Envy are in a 5v2 control. The bomb is still back there. I think it's up in the above the ladder. It'll be recovered as they start to shift it back, but it's a 2v5. I don't anticipate Envy dropping this round.
Unless Cold Zera can get a pick as he's creeping through this smoke upper, I don't think they'll be able to pick up the round. Actually going to be taken down by JDM with that scout. Taco, the final member left. He does have the bomb, so he's got that going for him, but he's going to need to do a lot more if he wants to pick this one up.
Fought the first target. That's an easy 1v1, but now everybody starts to move around and it starts to become a more difficult task. Psalm fires off a couple warning shots, and Taco starts to run out of real estate. Long flank coming against him as well, including the front door where Fugly just stands up top. That's going to be the second round for Envy.
2 people getting caught jumping there from the MIBR side.
Oh,
the first member towards middle actually jumps out, and Psalm's able to pick up that frag, and now Taco towards the upper gets caught jumping, and that's going to be 2 kills. Very easy kills for Envy on their way to their second round.
Yeah, but at this point, there's no coming back from this. This is already
you think so?
An awful CT side theater. No, I don't believe in this half. I think Envy needs to really replicate what MIBR did in the second half. There's no way this CT side is even recoverable at this point when you're supposed to hold the Ts to 5, maybe. So we might have more aggression. Android thinking about coming up that ladder, but there's a grenade that just bounces past him, so he's fortunate that it didn't land at his feet.
Quite a bit of damage being done as coldzera taking down JDM. He's going to move very quickly towards Inner as Android hopping up that ladder is going to take down Fallen, and now Fugly putting an end to coldzera will allow Phelps actually to open it up onto Android. So a 2-on-3 here, and still plenty of time on the clock. It does look like MIBR favoring Ivy as we move into the minute mark.
I think MIBR are lucky at this point that they're only 1 man behind. That was very, very dangerous, especially lucky that Phelps ended up winning his fight.
Even coldzera towards Inner as JDM missed his shot, right?
So Android climbing that ladder was absolutely insanity.
That was a bold
lucky
move.
He caught that T with a smoke in his hand because he just climbing the ladder, spamming, hoping for the RNG gods to
forced his way up.
And he went right up to the top of that one. So right now, Phelps and Fur are trying to fight their way back into the...
Are they going to creep out backside?
It would be difficult to do.
Oh, they're going front side.
Right to the front door. Everything's clear up front. There's one up in heaven, and it should be an easy one. Nifty takes off the rear flank. Great shot from Fur, actually. Psalm took a lot of damage off that first salvo, but that's just too much. Another round for Envy as we head into the last round of the first half. As good as it possibly could be for Envy was 4 rounds at this point. But like we had said before, sure, this is a little bit of a streak from Envy, but MIBR had saved up so much money that they had no economic problems ever in this half. It's been good all the way.
Yeah, being able to buy up no problem. They even had the double up set up on T side for a little bit. Now moving into the 4 AKs, 1 AWP. But they are going to take a timeout because you know what? You might as well try and end this half strong. Envy now picking up the last 2 rounds kind of shows that they're gaining momentum. They're kind of hanging with MIBR in these last couple rounds. However, if MIBR can pull this off, make it 12-3, they've made that CT side so easy for themselves that they can just walk into the win, essentially.
Yeah, if it does end up being 12-3, Envy's second half is so reliant on the pistol. It's almost it's an absolute must.
Yeah, it is.
Because they're only going to have one good rifle in that series.
Exactly.
So that's what Envy are right now backed up into the corner for. Maybe 1 good rifle. If they get 4 rounds here, they get 2 good rifles. See what ends up happening here. It's a very critical round for Envy to try and come back into this. They've got the great start for Android. 2 kills for him. Both headshots, and they're still set up. Android wanted more, but the Molotov at camera forces him back. The CT's lined up across bomb train towards old bomb train. They've really got everybody in play right now, virtually to the A site right now.
Some good damage being done as well now. Another Molotov towards the camera. Taco being pushed up into this area is going to keep these Envy players from really getting any picks. Fugly now giving away his position as Taco is going to take him down. JDM not able to connect on that op shot is going to allow Taco to reset his positioning, but Android taking down coldzera turns this into a 3v2 as the bomb moves back towards Inner. Fallen getting caught off, and it's on to Taco in a 1v2 to get the 12th round.
He gave up on Fallen seconds ago. He said, "You're on your own, buddy. You hold them at that A site. Commit yourself to the greater good.
I'm out of here.
I'll plant this on the B site." The thing is, Taco just planted. He's got no Molotov to defend this as you would anticipate.
The amount of time it's taken for Envy to rotate over now, they have to clear all these close spots. The last thing they're going to think, you can see them now, checking these trains, checking behind oil. This is all giving Taco more opportunity. Now when they get to the bomb, they have to worry about lower as well as upper, and Taco actually in a good spot to make this happen.
Well, the bomb touched now, just at this time. Android's holding the upper side, and I think Psalm's trying to stick it. Taco gets the kill, but there's more than enough time to be able to recoup that one. Envy managed to win out the half just by a smidge, picking up 3 of the 4 that they've won, and it's a 4-11 deficit.
Definitely making that half happen for them just a little bit, but it's still an uphill battle for them going forward. This is going to be a tremendously difficult T-side, especially going up against MIBR.
Yeah, what a first half from MIBR. Let's take a look at some of the drama and the plays that have played out possibly, but MIBR on such a stretch that I doubt Envy will be able to recover from this. If you're just now joining us, MIBR have the first map into their belt as well, so this might be a quick end to map 2 and a success rate for MIBR. You're watching the Pro League, so stick around. We'll be right back. Huge first half for MIBR as we come back to the ESL Pro League. MIBR took map 1 on a massive comeback, and then we have now the second map being Train, which is their own map pick. They actually have a monstrous T-half, 11-4, looking to close out this series immediately.
Yeah, Taco really coming up on top for the MIBR side, sitting on 15 frags, but as we move into this pistol round, actually, we will see Envy looking like they're going to stop right now and actually call a technical issue.
Okay,
so
reset.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a tech issue. Good thing there's match medic.
Yeah, instant match medic.
Where would we be without match medics?
Probably still trying to fix some games that we were in like 2017.
I remember there was one tournament I played in, and we had to recreate the entire pistol round.
Kill for kill.
Kill for kill. You go here. This guy kills this guy. This guy kills this guy. It's a fun time.
Yeah,
it's a fun time.
It was the old days, dude. Now we've got it's 2019. We've got
match medics.
Right, match medics.
The future is here, Dallas.
Right. Sometimes you just call for medic.
The future is now.
Good to go. But what do you think Envy need to do here? I had said before, if Envy are in a spot where they had only won 3 rounds in that half, they'd have at least just one real rifle round. And there's still a lot of pressure applied to this pistol round. But now that they got 4, they can at least have a little bit more wiggle room.
Yeah, Envy's just got to get pistol. That's it. We can't really talk about what more they need to do aside from pistol round, because falling in pistol round essentially gives MIBR a 2-round cushion where they'll hit 13-4 scoreline, and then Envy gets that 1 gun round out. If MIBR win that, they get to 14, then Envy's just force buying pretty much to get anything going. And it does look like we got Michael, one of our ESL admins, just getting in there, fixing it, getting his hands dirty. That's what you like to see.
Someone playing on that 916 resolution.
916?
Saw the monitor was vertical.
You flip it the other way.
I saw a post on Reddit today of someone that had a really vertical resolution. It was goofy. It
oh my goodness. Made
you motion sick.
But I'd like to shout out Android. Even though his team got absolutely decimated, look at his scoreline right now, Dallas. 17-11.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, he just disconnected, so you won't believe it.
I'll never believe it.
It was there, man.
Yeah.
It was there. I saw it with my own eyes.
All right.
Don't be a doubting Thomas.
Right. So, okay, so what happens for Envy here? Let's say, by the grace that they're able to pull off pistol +2, what keeps them afloat on a T-half? On a team
they need to keep MIBR's money low. So what that means is MIBR forcing up when they're even getting into their gun rounds. Envy need to capitalize on that. They need to win the first 2 gun rounds pretty much to put MIBR in this predicament of, do we save? Do we force up? And if they do that, and MIBR essentially will be looking at, let's say pistols, and Envy are able to take them down, well, that's going to force MIBR onto yet another save, and that's slowly how it compounds into a tie game. But they've really got to pick up these gun rounds on top of getting these pistols. These first 5 rounds are so crucial, not only because if they don't pick them up, MIBR wins, but because they also break the economy.
Yeah, and I mean, my theory, I didn't get to watch that game all that much. I was busy, but the MIBR versus Astralis game, who would have thought the way to beat Astralis was just get 16 rounds first?
Oh,
I managed to do it. I mean, theory crafting, that's what we're doing right now. But
just get out there and win 16 rounds, boys.
It's so easy. Sometimes you just have to shoot heads, but really what you need to do is win 16 rounds. So let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half of MIBR's thorough domination. This is where we saw Cold Zera stand up top, and he actually just stays alive up here and becomes a problem because Envy can't deal with him immediately. And it was just so easy for MIBR through there. I think they ended up winning the first 7 rounds in a row. It was 7-0, and then finally Envy was able to pick up 1 round. So throughout this, you're just going to see that MIBR score go up and up and up before Envy even have a response. Both A and B success on their offensive campaign.
I mean, MIBR on that first half just looks so strong, Dallas. Android really the only life that Envy had throughout that moment. And that's just a testament to the amount of frags that he got. Android finishing up that half with 17. But all of MIBR are able to pick off, win their duels, really open up the map early on. And that's what's going to allow your T side of Train to take hold, because Train is a map where every single CT position is a pillar. No one's really in the spot except for the Z rotator to, kind of give it up. So everybody's got to hold fast, everybody's got to pick up their frags. And if Envy aren't doing that, MIBR are slowly just taking down one pillar, taking down another, until the whole house crumbles.
So another thing, you were talking about Envy's resources and winning solution to try and win their own T-half would be that they need to keep MIBR's money low. So MIBR have no need to push or rush the issue. They've turned their homework in early, they're good to go. So if worst comes to worst for MIBR, and they're okay, let's try and save these guns.
Yeah.
That's where Envy need to pursue that. They need to hunt those guns. Envy needs to take the fight throughout the entirety of the round.
Yeah, essentially.
Every second of the way.
Removing guns from MIBR, forcing them to force buy back up, or even go for that, eco round is what is going to give Envy the possibility to go and just catapult themselves into a tie game. Unfortunately, though, it's all going to have to start with this pistol round, such a crucial part of maps. Regardless of scoreline, pistol rounds are exactly what you need to get your team started in a half.
Yes, take a look at the stats that were there so far.
See, told you.
Told you so? Are these valid?
Yeah, actually, it's Android, not Nifty. That was 17-11, but still.
Okay, so Android, you're saying, was 17-11.
Android was
17-11. We saw a couple of frustrating rounds for him, actually. He got the same treatment each time when they were like, okay, let's save. And he turned around in Z connector both times, and he was suddenly greeted, I believe, by
I love that strat
Phelps.
from MIBR, leaving Phelps out there in that lurk position, MIBR taking inner, and then essentially just letting Phelps strike late into the round, either for exits or cleanup. And that's exactly what you want out of your lurker. But pistol round is underway. Envy moving very quickly towards Ivy, and MIBR playing a double ladder setup. Let's see how this one unfolds for the T side. A much-needed round for Envy if they want to continue on in this match.
It's going to be a quick triple peek as fast as they can.
Oh!
coldzera
Jesus.
shoots at the first target that was jumping across and then just went to Android, who's just had an unfortunate game so far. Sure, he's bragging really hard, but he's got some of the worst beats when I've seen so far in this match. It's a first frag for MIBR, and Envy are going to have to try and fight from behind to win a desperate pistol round. coldzera still on the other side of this smoke. He's spamming through it and doing some good damage out there as well. Fur going to be late to come out the ladder. This could surprise Envy as well as this late rotation, but Psalm is already watching that angle. A 2v3. Envy has managed to take the lead right back into this one. coldzera gets a kill. They both get a kill as well. It's down to a 1v1. Fugly, no armor, looking for coldzera. He needs the headshot immediately. It's well within the range at this point blank for coldzera to hit that headshot. Fugly just needed to tap heads as well, and MIBR managed to stay aloft on that pistol round. It looked like Envy almost had it.
That first shot from Cole towards Ivy was wild, Dallas. Set everything amuck for Envy. They were like, wait a second, we're already down a man. Here it is right here. You see the first player jump across.
I love the slow-mo too, yeah.
And then coldzera says, you know what? I'm going to get this guy right there. And then he just dips out. What a beautiful shot.
He realized that first player jumping across, the head was above the ceiling. So it's like, well, I can't hit his head. Let's hit the next guy's head.
Let's hit the next guy. Yeah. Exactly.
Quick decision making.
All right, MIBR now very aggressive towards inner. Look at Fallen as well as Taco here, going to be gunning them down. Actually, these players get behind that little wall along that box hall ledge, and that's going to be Fallen and Taco being taken down very easily.
This is going to be a bomb plant guaranteed, but can they hold on long enough to at least get one more kill? I believe so. Phelps sprinting ahead. Doesn't need to expose himself right here, but does get the kill at the end of the day anyway. Fur actually takes it, gets the SMG reward out of it instead of the pistol. So, okay. All right. That was pretty bold from Fallen and Taco going right to the top of that one, but it's both trains headed at one another head on, and they applied it to the forehead, and MIBR lost that initial fight, but won it in the long haul.
Yeah, they were going northbound on a southbound freeway. Look out.
That's a good way to put it. So Envy do not win the pistol. They do not win the second, but the bomb plant in the second has allowed them to get rifles and the AWP included in JDM here. So they are going to have a weapons advantage. They desperately need this one right out of the gates, or else it's MIBR to 14, ecoing round on their 15th likely, and then Envy would have one more chance. That's it.
Okay, Fallen now with that AWP, getting very aggressive towards middle. You're seeing him inch on up, and he's going to find JDM. JDM, no idea that Fallen would be in that position, is going to be the opening kill for the MIBR side. Psalm now taking a little bit of damage as well. The Envy team very slow into this first gun round. Where are they going to move? Psalm is just catching damage.
Yeah, he just ate the rest of that nade. Dropped him down to 40. They know he's back there, so they're just spamming towards him right now. Looks like they will release, and Fallen releases a Lapua round, catching Nifty. Stack up for the drop. It's a 1-for-1, so the A site is showing slight signs of weakness, but you had bonus people up here, and all the while, Taco is through the box halls, now trying to stab the T's in the back. Android's up here. He's looking at it. Ooh. Well played by Android.
Nice shot.
That keeps him here.
Yeah, and now we're going to see the rotations coming over from MIBR. Android actually not taking the inner bomb site. That is huge. That's going to allow MIBR to move into the site now, set up for this retake, and they're going to go in together. But you know what? Actually, Psalm taking down Fur makes this round a possibility.
Sick shot from the young gun.
This is a big gun round here. Can Envy pull this off? Psalm now with that AWP, trained on that Z. Well, he just was as he unscoped.
He's waiting for Cold to get into a position. He's now climbing up the ladder.
Android's
to try and work in
from
behind. But look how nervous Psalm and Android are. Nobody's leaving the site. They are tucked into it right now. It's a matter of time before Android gets a bad feeling about this one and checks the backside of his ramp. I hope so. Fallen takes the shot, and they still don't suspect that coldzera's behind him. They've spotted Psalm. They need to still kill him really quickly. He starts to sprint on him. He'll be able to pick up the kill and defuse the bomb successfully. So Envy do drop their first rifle round, but they do get a bomb plant, so they can at least keep thinking about what's going on towards the end of the half, possibly the end of the series.
Yeah, another couple of huge kills for Android there as he's going to be able to take down Taco, open up the inner. I would have liked to see him just fly through inner, but he doesn't take the chance. He waits for his teammate wisely, so Psalm comes in, allows that bomb plant to go down. Unfortunately, Envy in that situation, too many angles for them to worry about. We're going to see Android fall first, and then coldzera taking down Psalm in the back. We'll put MIBR onto 14 and put Envy on the cusp of a map 2 loss.
Yeah, I think I'd say it's a a surprising victory for MIBR, especially coming out of that first map. Only just they win that one, 16-14. And it was a 1v3 for Fallen. And they just rode that momentum all the way through the first half of Train and into the second half as well, as they had a 10-round lead, a gargantuan one at that, and Envy would have to decimate
Look
MIBR
at this angle
to pull
from
that
Fallen.
off.
Fallen just holding the jump up, able to take down Nifty. He will be traded out, but Taco is still up here. Great bait and switch setup. He's going to be able to take down the bomb planter, and then he might even find the op of JDM, and that's exactly what happens now. A 4-on-2 as Phelps falling to Android, who's been playing phenomenal. Fur will take down Fugly. Android final member up. He shall fall. 15 rounds for MIBR, 1 round away from a 16-4 victory.
Sick play from Taco right there, and it was just a surprise to Envy at that point. It was probably really interesting to them that Fallen was right there at the bottom of ramp with an op.
I'm surprised even Envy didn't think about a second person, because generally when you have an op aggress towards lower ramp, you have someone supporting him with either a Molotov, a flash to get him out. There is some sort of support going on.
Anyway, it happened before on Cash as well. We got to remember I think it was
moved into the site.
They moved into the B site,
A site.
or no, the A site without clearing quad. So it has
Exactly.
risen again to bite Envy in the butt. Now it's 15-4. MIBR perfect on their CT side.
All right, and the T's taking a timeout. How do they want to approach this, what could be the final round? You don't want to have an unstructured buy. It does look like they're going to be really lacking in the utility factor right now. Is Fugly the only person with a full nade set? They have 2 smokes, 2 flashes, and 1 Molotov. Actually, 3 flashes and 1 Molotov. This is going to be, they got their work cut out for them, Dallas.
Yeah, MIBR just need to close this one out, and they've got plenty of tries to do it. It would be obviously to max loss bonus for about a month before Envy were even able to get to double digits and be a threat. So MIBR looking to close it. Fur now in the upper box halls, about to peek this one, but Phelps gets the first 2. That was the head stack drop into the ladder as they drop and break their ankles right into the field of view for the AUG.
Right into a 5-on-3. Envy really having no success whatsoever on Train. We saw some brief hints of life there on the first half, but moving into the second now, MIBR completely dominant, winning 4 rounds in a row.
Another head stack.
Another
hey,
head
it
stack
works
drop.
this
It
time.
pays off, yeah, it pays off.
You commit 4 players to take ladder control. Costs you 2 of them. At least you got to kill against Phelps. Here comes Fur. After seeing all that commitment to ladder, I love that from Fur to push the upper box halls at that point, and now there's no recovery.
Yeah.
JDM in a 1v4, AUG in hand from what he was able to steal from Phelps, but his position is known. He's jumped down into the spot. Oh my goodness. That one hurt. That one hit him below the belt. Just beamed him. So JDM's left to extend the round as best as he can. He's got the bomb, but likely there will be an instant flank coming. MIBR have backed up to allow JDM an opportunity to get to a site to commit to it, but it looks like they'll just shoot him outright, right at the top side. And it's 16-4.
Yeah, Taco with a really dominant performance, getting those 20 kills on the board. Colzera as well. Really, all of MIBR coming to play in this matchup, and they're going to take this very confidently with, like you just said, a 16-4 victory, making the series 2-0.
Yeah, it didn't look like there was ever a chance for recovery there. There was a little bit of life for the first rifle round for Envy in that second half, but that was really their only chance. And if it didn't get off the ground, it would stay on the ground for the remainder of the war. So it seemed as though Envy had won the first battle, and then on the long run, MIBR took everything. 2 maps. When we come back, we've got analysts talking about this match. We'll be right back.